Fredericksburg Live. Go, see, do.
Thank you. What up, y'all? This is Anthony Campbell. See? That's what I'm saying.
What up, y'all?
What up, y'all? Hey.
Okay,
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Get serious, get serious.
What's going on? and see, now here we go. Serious now, here we are. How y'all doing? This is Anthony Campbell, and welcome to another edition of Fredericksburg Live. Today I have the distinct pleasure of having sitting right next to me the First Lady, our very own First Lady of Blues, Miss Gaye Adegbalola. Gaye, thank you so much for sitting in with us today. I've been looking forward to this opportunity to sit next to you and talk about everything that is you, all of your accomplishments. There's so much that we're going to learn today from you.
How long is the show?
You know what? We might have to end up doing a part 1 and part 2 if need be. That's what we'll do. But we want the whole story of you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just teasing.
No, that is very true. A little bit about that. We've got a little bit of background on a lot of what we've done. We were going to script it and figure out from there how we're going to do it. But I think the best thing to do is for y'all to just sit in and let the tape roll, and we just kind of see where we go with that. Gaye, tell me a little bit about how you came to be the entertainer that we know today.
Well, I guess you got to go back to the source, and that would be Mama and Daddy.
Okay.
Okay. My dad was a musician. My dad was, without a doubt, the most creative person I've ever met. He was an artist. He was a writer. He could put together shows. Anytime anybody needed a fundraiser here in Fredericksburg, and we're talking black folks in the black school, band uniforms or the American Legion or whatever, he would put a show together, and he had the talent of bringing all kinds of people together to put on a show. My mother was an incredible organizer, and from her I learned how to get things done. If you're putting together a CD, you can't just go and put it together and put it out. You have to time yourself and plan that thing. The other thing, my mother was a really wonderful actress, and she used to do poems and used to be in plays, and I learned that from her. My house was full of music growing up. So as we were talking earlier, people just see you on stage and they think it's all fun because they're being entertained, but it's just so much work and so much business. It's called show business.
For me, as a younger person, so much of what happened during the civil rights movement was historic. When we talked about the marches in Selma, when we talked about even the Martin Luther King speaking on the Mall in Washington, D.C., all of that is...
I was there.
You were there.
63.
See, all of those things that we talk about are, from a historic standpoint, it's one of those very sobering realities when we think about the fact that actually, all of this went on in Fredericksburg as well.
Yes.
Black people during that period were also dealing with the same problems that they had in the South. Maybe not as front page, from the standpoint of they got the coverage.
Well, part of what happened all down through the South is that every town went after the same chain stores. So it wasn't just in Fredericksburg that we were picketing and sitting in at Woolworths. All over the South, Woolworth was being hit. So we were just one link in a chain. It took everybody working in the same direction. Sure. So it was Newberry's, Grant's, People's Drug Store, now CVS. I moved away from the philosophy of Dr. King, which was to love everybody and hold hands and to fight for equality.
Now,
I went into a whole Black Power kind of philosophy.
Now, let me ask you a question. I have heard that happened you tell me your experience, but a lot of young blacks during that period of time felt like Martin Luther King's method of passive resistance and the nonviolent side just wasn't moving the bar fast enough. Was that what you felt was the catalyst behind you becoming more of a more militant, I guess, if you use that word?
I think the catalyst became, you know, you saw so many black folks who were peacefully protesting get beat up, get fire hosed, have dogs. So many black folks today are scared of dogs. Not pit bulls, but German shepherds. A lot of people, especially my age, are really scared of dogs because dogs were sicked on you. You know, sick them, go get them, eat them. And so it came to a point like, why am I going to let somebody be violent with me, and I'm trying to be like them? How can I want to be like these people who hate me? So it was a different thing. So at that point, I stopped straightening my hair. You see, it was a thing back in the day where blacks felt that your hair was good hair, you know, and something was wrong with nappy hair. You know, that was the opposite side. Straight hair was good hair. By the same token, up until I took an African name to kind of demystify. So many people are afraid to say my name, and all they have to do is look at it. All you have to do is look at it and read it. But if it said Wojciechowicz or something like that, they would read that. So there was so much hatred that we were putting on ourselves. You know, and things, just little things that you don't even think about. You think about blackmail. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's white male. You know, or devil's food cake is black or brown, and angel's food cake is white. So white is always representing fairness, and at the same time, these are the people who are hating you and beating you and bombing you and killing little girls in churches, right? So yeah, I became more militant, and I adopted a philosophy of Malcolm X. Yeah, that was my philosophical guide at the time, and musically, it was Nina Simone. Yeah, and I'm very proud to say that I'm going to be playing in the Nina Simone Festival in her hometown in September.
You mentioned the philosophical differences that led you in the direction that you went, but it also, the fabric somehow was knit together to connect you musically as well. So was it at this time that we were starting to not only develop a desire to tell your story or the story of your people through music, to also to share that social concern that you had?
At this particular time in my life, I was living in New York. After I finished school in Boston, I went to D.C., lived for about 18 months. That's a whole nother thing. But then I moved to New York. I felt I was ready for the big city now.
Big city, big time.
Big time. And it was in New York that my musical awareness was really broadened. I really got into gospel music because the gospel music that I knew here was, you know, trust and obey, 'cause there's no other way, while leaning on Jesus. Yeah, it wasn't, you know, get right, church, and let's go home. Man, I saw James Cleveland. I saw the Swan Silvertones. I saw the Blind Boys of Alabama, the Blind Boys of Mississippi.
Jackson Southern.
Yeah, I saw the Swan Silvertones. That was my favorite group. I saw the Staple Singers probably 20 or 30 times. And so that was one piece of my history that I had been missing. But I also got heavily into jazz. And I lived across the street from a jazz club. As far as I know, the Last Poets were the first rap group ever. They did poetry to drum beats. Okay. And I mean, we used to have this in my living room. We would get on the subway and do it. Yeah. And they had a loft on 125th Street called the East Wind, where we would gather and do poetry and song and dance. And it was an exciting time. We saw ourselves as being revolutionaries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we embraced our blackness as opposed to trying to be white.
Right.
We just loved ourselves instead of not loving ourselves.
Well, that would have been a revolutionary concept, certainly in Fredericksburg at the time, because I know as a child it was, it may not have even been stated, but it was understood even within families. There were darker family members
Right.
that somehow weren't viewed as favorably
Right.
as the lighter skinned
Right.
family members.
Exactly.
So I remember seeing that as a child, where even subconsciously maybe we had become in some instances our own worst enemy.
Right. We're back to good hair.
Right.
You know, and if that's not a put down of who you are, I don't know what is.
Right.
You know.
Now I understand that in 1982 you were given what award?
A Virginia State Teacher of the Year.
Virginia State Teacher of the Year, in
And
1982.
I was.
See,
it
a
was
lot of people they're learning more about you now than they could have known without us having this opportunity to sit down. So again, I thank you.
Okay.
Now you said this was an 18-year span that this happened. There was a time in your life when you decided, okay, I have accomplished all that I feel that I can accomplish, or all that the educational system will allow me to accomplish.
Because I loved it. I didn't leave it because I didn't like it. I was playing around town. I played 3 nights a week solo at what is now the Otter House.
Okay.
It used to be called the Palms.
Okay.
There's a restaurant downstairs and a little club in the front part of it. The back part wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I played there 3 nights a week, guitar, to supplement my income.
Okay.
Because I told you I was raising my son by myself.
Right.
And my son was sickly. My son is legally blind. So I was doing that 3 nights a week. And then that folded into Sapphire. Sapphire started in 1984.
Now, for those of us who are new to, let's talk about Sapphire. Tell us who Sapphire was.
There were 3 of us in Sapphire. Well, it started out, it was just Ann Rabson and I.
Okay.
And I was asked to play a solo date at Holiday Inn South. It was the Holidome at the time. And it was in the lounge, and I knew my guitar was not a big enough sound for the room. So I got in touch with Ann and asked her would she play with me. And Ann said, well, yeah, I'm kind of learning piano some now. She was playing piano in a band called Todd's Tavern, which was a country band, but she was playing boogie woogie all the time. So we got together and we worked up a repertoire. And but Ann didn't have a piano of her own. We used to sneak in the college practice rooms.
Okay.
Finally, Ann was teaching a computer class at Germanna. She had a student whose dad died and needed a makeup test, and the student had a piano. So we went to the student's house to give the test and for us to practice. And the student, when she finished the test, that was Earlene Lewis, she came down and joined in on bass.
My goodness.
So the 3 of us started playing at the Holiday Inn South.
So what was the next step for you beyond Sapphire?
Well, the first thing, I've got a house to sell. My former partner and I split up 2 years ago, and it's a little bit hard to regroup now, but as the song goes, life goes on just the same. So I'm going through all kinds of archival stuff and memorabilia. That's going to take a while. I'm working on a children's CD, and I'm working on a Gaye Adegbalola songbook. I think I might call it my audio biography.
I like that.
You're right.
I like that.
And musically, I play solo concerts.
Okay.
I work with Roddy Barnes. We do 2 different concerts. We do neoclassic blues, which is blues from the 20s and 30s, in our tales, and
I bet that's beautiful.
emulating Bessie Smith and those fine women, my sheroes.
That's right.
And we also do more contemporary music and more original music. And then I've been working with the Electric Band, Miss A and the Freedom Band.
Okay.
And writing, I'm perpetually writing.
Okay. Well, having you on our show today has been fantastically eye-opening. To get to know you more than just as a musician, but where you have come from your roots, your passion for your people, your cause, your it's just a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for us to get to see a little bit of the inside of who Gaye Adegbalola is. I just want to thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
It has been an absolute pleasure for me. And I know our viewers have enjoyed this tremendously. We definitely want you to come back again, and so we can hear more about what's going on with you and your activism and your causes and your quest for equality. Fredericksburg, we just want to thank you again. I'm Anthony Campbell, sitting here with Ms. A, Gaye Adegbalola.
Okay.
We've
Well,
enjoyed
Gay Todd.
Gay Todd for those who old school Fredericksburgians. We thank you so much for being here with us. Just hang out and come back and see us again real soon. Thank you, Fredericksburg. I'm Anthony for Fredericksburg Live. We'll see you.
This has been a Video Man production and a So Wise marketing presentation.